Hello everybody and welcome to Season 5, Episode 14 of the KCCAFC TV show. And tonight on the show, we get to host a leader from the funds executive, that is for the KCCAFC funds, and she will be breaking down everything to do with what is happening in the funds executive. Remember, we have elections that are looming. She will be here to answer all those questions that you would want to listen to, that is with everything coming in from the funds. We also have a player from KCCFC, and just so you know, that is a holder of a Masters of Procurement. And he will be on the show tonight. We'll be talking sport and education with this player and how he has been able to juggle both school and education. I am Magero Moses Mwanje. I'm your host, and this is the KCCFC TV show. You and I are definitely walking this journey together. All right, we'll kick it off with the KCCFC Rewind, like we normally start all our shows here on the KCCFC TV. And this particular week, we had a blast from the past because we got to post that picture earlier on today on all our social media handles, and that is Facebook and X, call it Twitter. And that is a picture from the 1980s. And we call it the KCCFC Rewind. Now, that picture has KCCFC legends and KCCFC greats. You can be able to see that backdrop of that picture of fans that had, that should be Nachivo Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. And they were there to watch that game. And now you can look at that traditional color, or the traditional colors of KCCFC, the yellow and blue, and that has been maintained all over the years. The yellow shirt, and then the blue shorts, and then the yellow socks. That is still what the senior team dons currently. Now we'll be running through some of the responses you're able to give, that is on X and Facebook, later on in the show, and we'll be able to tell what you're able to answer. Also on our show tonight, we posted a picture, a poll question earlier on our social media handles, and this read, if you can have that picture on our screen, and so that we can be able to have, or to see who has been able to participate in that poll question. Remember to always use the hashtag KCCFC TV when you're answering all these questions. That is on Facebook and on X. We'll be, okay, as we wait for the producer to just flash that question on the screen. Okay, the question is there that on Wednesday, KCCFC will be traveling to Mbale to face Admin FC in the Stanbic Uganda Cup. What are your predictions? And please don't forget to use that hashtag. That is hashtag KCCFC TV on all the responses you give, and we'll be able to read them here on the show. Go to the Facebook page for KCCFC and also go to our X handle and be able to participate in that poll question, and we'll be able to read that or your opinions on the show tonight. Now to start off with the club news before we dive into the funds, because I told you we have a leader from the funds executive, and she'll be answering all the questions in terms of the funds leadership and what you need to know in terms of what is happening for the funds, and the funds executive, or the leader, will be here to answer all those questions. To go to the club news, starting off with the Uganda Cup. Now, earlier on this week, that was on Monday, KCCFC was pitted against Admin FC, that is the Stanbic Uganda Cup. This is the 50th edition, remember? And at the round of 64, KCCFC will be traveling to Mbale, where, remember, that team that KCCFC will be playing is called Admin FC, but recently had to change their name to Bugisu United. But then what has been maintained is that team will be called Admin FC up until when FIFA authorizes them to fully change that name. So it's not that it's official that that is their name. This is just something that I should tell you. But Admin FC is the team KCCFC will be playing on the round of 64, and that will be at the Mbale Municipal Stadium, just like you can see that graphic on your screen. And that game will be at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. That is the 24th of January. And please, just make sure you head down to Mbale. I've been told by the funds leaders that there is a program and there is a system that you should follow. Just reach out to Tom Matov, who is the funds coordinator, and you'll be able to book your seat on that bus or that coaster that will be able to transport the funds from Lugogo up until Mbale. Remember, that game is on the 24th January. and which will be a Wednesday. KCCFC will be visiting Admin FC, the round of 64, and that is in the Stanbic Uganda Cup. Still about the club news, this week KCCFC was able to be represented by 3 players, and the 3 players that was in an international friendly game for the Uganda Cranes. The 3 players are Usama Arafat and Mugume Ashraf and also Shaban Muhammad. All the 3 played in that friendly game against Kuwait, that game happening in Egypt, and that game was on a Friday. And just so you know, that 3 of the players all played. Shaban Muhammad playing up to the 82nd minute and getting replaced in there. He had a goal scored in this game, but that goal was cancelled because he was offside. Also another player, Usama Arafat, playing up to the 63rd minute and later on getting replaced. In the 82nd minute, we had Ashraf Mugume coming on as a substitute in that same game. And that meant that KCCFC finally has players back on the national team. It's a couple of games, about 2 or 3, would have about 1 or 2, but now this is a positive that we can have 3 players representing the football club, not forgetting that that player, some of the players that you saw on that screen have been the best players for KCCFC in the first round. Shaban Muhammad scoring 8 goals and assisting twice this term, and then Ashraf Mugume and Usama Arafat scoring 4 goals each, that is for the first round. So you can say it was a deserved call for the trio. Still about the club news coming in from KCCFC, the junior team, the announcement came in from the FUFA this week, and that means that the FUFA Juniors League will be resuming in February, and it's been a really action-packed week for KCCFC, especially if you go down to the junior team or the academy. Because if we are going to be seeing some of those pictures later on your screen, the head coach alongside his technical team have been participating in the preparations of the FUFA Juniors League. That is Abdallah Mubiro and his assistants, Kefa Kisala, and then Jackson Magera, and the fitness coach, that is Felix Ayubo, and the rest of the technical team have been participating in the preparations. And so this job is not only for the junior team coach, but also the entire technical team, because they want, or the head coach wants, that the philosophy of the football club, or his philosophy, is coming straight from the junior team and up until the senior team. So those preparations have been ongoing, and the team is training what you could call, let me say, trials for a few players, because this is the time when you're either onboarded or told to play, maybe to try somewhere else. Then there are also some of those members of the previous juniors or the junior team that are also still part of this current junior team. So preparations are undergoing. Those, the fixtures are not yet out for the FUFA Juniors League, but at least we have an update from FUFA that the Juniors League will be resuming early February. And I tell you what, KCCFC may not have ever won the FUFA Juniors League, but it's a club that has produced the most number of players that have been that have come from the juniors team and played for their senior teams, or even around the league, that is the that times Uganda Premier League. So kudos to FUFA, and also, I mean, making sure that they stay with some of these projects, especially FUFA Juniors League, which has gone on to be the feeder project for the under-17 and the under-18 and the under-20, or even the under-23. So just so you know, the Juniors League is back, and the boys are in Logogo, making sure that they prepare for those games that will be starting in February. Now, our women's team, that is Kampala Queens, is back in action, was back in action. Today we should be able to see some of those pictures today, that is, if the producer has them. I remember Kampala Queens are the official women's football club for KCCFC. And we have been able to produce a good number of players in there that have been able to also play for both the national team and for all categories, the under-18, the under-20, players like Hasfa Nasuna, players like we have said Hasfa Nasuna, Ikwaput was able to move on for professional ranks. We have players like Nandide in there. We have players like Nancy, that is the goalkeeper, and many others who have been able to also represent the Uganda Cranes, or the Crested Cranes, and also the junior side, the under-18, the under-20 plus the senior team. So they were able to win that game 2-1, and that game happened at the MTN Omondi Stadium. That game was earlier on today at about 10 a.m. Earlier in the morning, and those are some of the faces of those players, as you can see. Like I told you, that Kampala Queens are the official women's football club for KCFC for the next 3 years. That partnership signed at the start of this season, and I'll tell you that will be going on up to 2026. And hopefully that we can even further this partnership or this marriage with this football club. So kudos to Kampala Queens and well done. Keep representing KCCFC, and I should say the entire football legion in Uganda, because almost 90% of that team is the compilation of the Crested Cranes, or even the underside, the under-18 and the under-20. Now, I told you earlier on that we have a funds leader in studio. We'll be getting to know who this funds leader is and what exactly she is here for, but majorly it's to talk everything to do with the funds. We have, they had a tenure in power that ran from 2018 and ended in about 2020 to 2023. There was COVID also in the mix there. Now their tenure is done. We want to know, do we have elections coming up? When are these elections? And also, what are some of those projects that are coming in from the funds leadership? Ladies and gentlemen, pleased to introduce to you Lillian Namaganda, students representative on the funds executive for KCCFC. Some of the, I should say, the most organized group of funds in this country. I don't know very many clubs that have a funds executive as powerful and empowered and active like the KCCFC funds executive.
I think you're right, but I'm an ex-student. I'm no longer a student.
But you on the board as a student representative.
And besides, I'm also done with being a student representative. So all those things I'm past that.
Okay, ex-student representative.
Ex-student, okay. Then still an ex-student. So literally with books, I'm at a hold for now. So I think things regarding my tenure, we are done with that. So we are just waiting to know who's going to be the next student representative coming in this March. Okay. So we're going to be having elections this March to see who are going to be our leaders. Some of the guys going to be coming back. I saw Henry disappeared. He went to Canada.
We'll be getting to know when the elections will be, but first things first, Lydian, 4 years in power. Okay. What are some of the highlights for your fund's leadership?
I believe a number of funds they have seen what the executive has done, and I believe that everything has been the best. Leave alone the distant base that came with that came with COVID, but apart from that, the committee has performed. Unfortunately, the president had issues, and the vice had to come in. That is Najimba Sophie. I heard she's coming back for presidency. Okay. So we're just waiting to see whether she will be able to turn up again. But we just believe that we did our part concerning the fund side. And you could see the organization that we were looking at is already back in order. So we believe that the next generation that is going to be coming in, they're going to give their best to see that the executive committee performs their work that is needed from them, and to bring back the club on top, because the silence has been too much. So we need to see what is going to be happening this time round. It's a new year, new targets are going to be set, new goals are going to be put in place. So the incoming executive, we're just waiting to see what is going to be coming from them. Okay. We as the fans.
You've talked about my very good friend here, Sophie Najimba, will be coming for presidency. Well, we're here to hear from her officially coming out to say that she'll be coming for president. And kudos for her for stepping in. That is what we call empowerment, especially when the president.
Because the Kasengetom had issues with politics, so he had to step aside, and Sophie had to come in to see that things get in order. And right there, you see, discipline-wise, I think KCCA is the best in the region, in Uganda and outside Uganda. So with that, we are covered. Then being with anyway, some people might think it is a bit insulting, but I think we're just the best. We have the best funds in this region, in Kampala. That is to say. So I believe that what is going to be coming, it's going to be hot. Okay. Yeah.
We'll talk about the very many achievements that you've been able to attain during not only you, but the entire fund's leadership and obviously the stewardship of Kasenge and also Sophie, because both of them were in leadership or were at the helm of that leadership of the funds executive. So what are some of the, I'll start with the achievements before even we go to the negatives or the disadvantages or the challenges that you were able to face. What are some of the achievements that you've been able to attain during your reign?
For starters, we had a successful gala.
Okay.
I remember you were part of it.
True.
Yeah, we had a successful gala that left many in tears, others were left in joy because that day we had the finals of the World Cup. So, so those of Argentina had the laughters. Then those of France, I mean, we were disappointed, but at the end of the day, as with the KCCA FC fans, we had the best of the day. Then things regarding with money were placed in order because among the executive, we had people that work in bank, in the bank. So literally everything concerning money, the account was opened, money flows well, it goes in the right order because we got some money from the patron, that is the Lord Mayor, Arias Lukwago. He gave us some money and it also went on the account. Then things of the circle we're trying to build step by step. Then the membership, still the executive, so that it has to be moving in the right lane. And I believe that was also achieved. And I believe when it comes to bringing the students on board, that is also another achievement that you account to the executive, the executive committee of the fund side. So those are some of the things that we achieved, and we are waiting to see that more and more things come up because, I mean, as a model club, we are expected to be bringing the best. So as the side of the funds, we expect that we're going to be giving our best, and those that will come in, we shall give them our support.
Okay, you've talked about funds coming in from different players in there. By players, I don't mean the football players, but different individuals in there. Should we say that the funds leadership or the funds are at a level of being self-sustainable at the moment?
Yeah,
because you've said that the funds have been coming in, also other funds came in from different other avenues, membership of the members of the KCFC. I'm also a member, I should say. Should we say that you are at the level of being self-sustainable?
That is true, Moses, because when you look at the performance that has been happening when it comes to the executive, I believe they give their best. I believe you personally as the club PRO, I could tell that there is a difference at the club. Just that things became a bit messy, I mean, for the whole world because of COVID, and the silence came in. But still, when things got back in order, we could see that the executive did their part, they performed their role, and I think I would want to applaud these guys because we didn't have anything that went in contrary, or anything that could bring any alarm. Yeah, so I just believe that these guys, I'm part, by the way. I was part. I would say that we
did a very good job.
Yeah, we did a very good job.
All right, there you have it. Lillian says that the executive or the funds leadership or the funds are at a level of being self-sustainable, that they have the money to be able to run all the activities going forward. Now, Lillian, going to the elections, we know that your tenure is done. It was 4 years.
Yeah.
I should say well done. The funds gala was able to be restored because we had a few years where there was no funds gala. At least some of the things that I remember, the positives from that former leadership or that ex-leadership was we had the funds membership cards returning. This is something that we had back in the years, and very many others. We were able to see more young funds on board, especially students. So as a former students leader, that is, I mean, that is a plus, or that's a positive for you and Mutebi Henry. But now we'll talk about the election roadmap. Now that your tenure is done, what is next? When are the elections? Which month are they likely to be? And also, what are some of the requirements for one to stand as a leader on the KCFC funds leadership? Of
course, for starters, as a must, the fund must have a membership card. That has been the norm at MTN Omondi Stadium, at Lugogo, that to be considered a real fund, you must have a membership card. Some have that of 1 year, that is for 20,000, then others have for 5 years, then others have life membership, that is of 1 million. So literally, you must have a membership card to qualify, because that is when you're considered a KCCA fan. Then the other thing, we have different positions that if any fan out there, any KCCAFC fan out there that would love to come and contest, we have different positions because we have the funds president, we have the vice president, administration and finance, then we have the vice president coordination, then we have the treasurer, Then we have
Students reps.
the student reps, that is the female and male, that I was taking as on the female side, then Henry on the male side. Then we have
Funds PRO.
the funds PRO. Then we have in-charge transport. And this time around, we have a general secretary, the person who's going to be forcing everything that is going to be running on the side of the funds. So all those positions are going to be available. Any person out there, as long as you're a KCCA fan, you are free to qualify. However, some positions, Moses, they're going to be needing academic papers.
Okay. What are some of those positions?
The president, the vice president coordination, then the vice president finance, then the general secretary. You must have a bachelor's.
Okay, that is for the president,
Yes.
the vice president administration, vice president finance,
yes,
and
coordination,
and vice, okay,
and the general secretary. You must have a bachelor's.
At least a bachelor's.
Yeah, a bachelor's.
Okay.
In that we mean a degree at a certain.
The other position, so long as you have a membership card.
As long as you have a membership
All
card.
right.
And another thing that this position still, you're going to be required to have to pay a certain amount of money. So with that, the president is required. The president, vice president, they're required to be paying 300,000 to contest. Then the general secretary, in-charge transport, publicity, all those are going to be required to pay 200,000.
About 200,000.
Yeah, about 200,000.
Okay.
Then the male and female student representatives are going to be for free.
For free.
Yeah.
Someone out
Because
there wants to know, is this money refundable, or is just to show how serious you are for this position?
You people.
Someone may think that after standing, they are able to get that 300,000 back.
No.
People need to know, please.
This era that we're in, nothing is for free, Moses.
Nothing is for free.
Nothing is for free.
So what does this money do for the fund?
Of course, when you pay this money, it goes on the fund's account.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it's going to come back to the funds, because different activities that happen at the club, all on the side of the funds, require money. Like the gala that we had last time. You're going to find that we have to put in money, to inject in money. So you ask yourself, where does that money come from? Different avenues provide that money. So this money that you're going to pay to contest or to qualify for that position is also part of the money that goes on the account to look at other activities that we cover as the executive.
All right, look straight in that camera and let us know when these elections will be, okay, approximately which month, and also when do people start showing interest so for standing for some of these positions as we wind up.
Okay, we are coming to the end of January. Starting February, we're going to be providing the nomination forms. So everyone that wants to contest, as long as you are a fan and you have a membership card, you come and pick the nomination form starting February, early February. So by end of March, we're going to be done with elections.
Okay.
So literally everyone should be awaiting to see that if you want to qualify, come and pick the nomination forms from Lugogo. Then we shall be giving a period for those people to return those forms. However, if you pick a form to contest for a certain position, you must have guarantor. You must have people that are going to be seconding you. To second you.
Okay.
And those funds, those fellow funds that are going to be seconding you, they must have been funds for the past 3 to 5
Registered
seasons.
funds,
Registered
that is
funds.
members
Yes.
with a membership card.
Yes.
For the past?
For the past 3 to 5 seasons.
All right, any parting shots as you wind this up, and then we go to something else, because my producer is telling me we need to be handling something else right about now. Your parting shots.
I believe as a person, I just want to see what the incoming executive is going to give us, because we are waiting for the best. As we know that when it comes to football in Uganda, KCCAFC is on top. So still on the fan side, I think we have really done our best, and we are waiting for the incoming people. You should give your best to see that us that left the positions feel contented, to see that those that have replaced us can perform their job very well. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, that is Lilian Namaganda, a former students representative on the KCCAFC Funds Executive.
Yeah.
And she has told you that the election roadmap should be out very soon, and then we'll be having funds pick nomination forms early February, and those should be returning them in a few weeks. And then we shall have elections, or the tentative date is at least by the end of March. That date at least will be confirmed, but by the end of March 2024, we should have elections for the new funds executive for KCCAFC funds in place. Thank you very much, Lilian Namaganda, and all the funds should be able to at least take part in this one. Just remember that you have to have a membership card
Yeah.
for you to be able to at least even pick those nominations. Otherwise, please do not waste any time. Well, we switch things up and we go back to our social media comments from those earlier on posted social media posts. And that is the question that on Wednesday, KCCAFC will be traveling to Mbale to face Admin FC in the Stanbic Uganda Cup. What are your predictions for this one? Now, we have some of the fans that have been able to answer. Someone says Admin 4, KCCAFC 1, that is Duke of Tororo. Definitely, Duke of Tororo comes from the east, so he should be able to say that. Nordin Biriomurire, this is the one that has always participated in these polls, says Admin 1, KCCAFC 4, Abu on the score sheet, and that means KCCAFC should be able to advance to the round of 32. Do we have any? Yes, we have. And then we have someone called Danny Nyeko, who uses @D_Nyeko, says KCCAFC will win over Admin FC, and uses that hashtag KCCAFC at 60. Well, those are some of your responses on X, call it Twitter. We'll be back after the break for those responses on Facebook. Remember, I told you that in the building, the guests are not done. We have a holder of a master's in procurement. Is a KCCAFC player on the show tonight, and we'll be able to discuss sport and education. All this after the break.
The daylight makes most things shine. With the right lights, everything looks bright. Gent brings the magnificence, elegance, and beauty of your home to life. Crafted to perfection. Detail and extravagance, leaving nothing to chance. Your dream home is only a switch away. Switch to the best. Gent Electric.
You can see that they are now into for a goiner. Can he space the ball right? Teasing it in. Express Football Club finally managed to sink it. Just when it looked like the opportunity was all lost here, they still found a way to make it happen. And Emmanuel Wasswa says, all year sit down. It is time to teach, for I know this ground better than you. Emmanuel Wasswa has turned the tables around here for Express. They trailed. Now they lead 2-1. Well, a very interesting game it is turning out to be, especially when you see the kind of goals that are being conceded. And somehow there's a similarity about these goals. Somehow the defending has not looked as good, and you can see there's a lack of coordination and understanding about where the ball is, where the positioning should be.
That is KCCAFC player back from loan, Emmanuel Alex Wasswa. A beautiful goal scored at the MTN Omondi Stadium, but for an old rival. Well, he's back at the football club, and you're still watching season 5, episode 15 of the KCCAFC TV show. I told you on the show tonight, we have a star. He has had quite a successful 2023, I should say, and currently back at the football club from a short loan stint that he had with one of our old rivals, that is Express Football Club. And also, remember, this player is a holder of a master's degree in procurement. How many football players in this country do you know have got a master's? We'll be able to talk that sport and education later on in the show. But remember, we asked you earlier on our social media pages, and that is for a segment called The Rewind, and that picture should be able to flash on that screen. And we asked you that how many of those legends and greats are you able to recognize in that picture? That was in the 1980s. And that picture has a very good number of our legends. And some of the responses that we have on Facebook, Chiwanuka David says, am I seeing Charles Baker Masiko? Yes, he is in that picture. We'll be able to tell you, obviously, most of the names of the players later on as we wind up the show. Then we have Mukaire Philip saying George Nsimbe, an illustrious midfielder maestro. That is Mukaire Philip. Jonathan Luja says George Nsimbe, but always remember to use that hashtag KCCFC TV, like you can see below your screen. James Jemba says Professor Mia Jackson Mayanja. Well, yes, he's in that picture, so a former coach of KCCAFC. Francisco De Zavi Akena says Jackson Mayanja, but forgets to use the hashtag KCCFC TV. You're right. We have Jackson Mayanja in that picture. We'll be reading more and more of your opinions later on as we wind up Season 5, Episode 15. Now we switch things a little bit up. Like I told you that we have a player for KCCFC in the studio. The guests are not done yet. And this one is quite a special one. Like I told you, at KCCFC, and this has been on for a very good period. For any player, especially our young players that, even not only the young players, but we always encourage players to take on both sport, which is football, and also education, because there is life after that career. Remember, a footballer's career, on average, is about 15 years. At about 35, 36, you're retiring from the game. But what is it after you're about 15, 16 years of playing the game? On the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Emmanuel Alex Wasswa, fresh from a long stint at Express Football Club, and has returned after about 5 months away. Emmanuel, happy to have you on the KCCAFC TV show. It's not very new for you to be on this show. You've been here a very good number of times.
Yeah.
Happy to have you back at the football club.
I'm so happy to be back at KCCFC and willing to work hard.
Okay.
More and more for the club, because really I've not worked for the club.
Okay.
Since I had a bad start at the club, I got injured in my first year.
Okay.
So I went so down, but God is good, I'm back and willing to work.
You know what is very captivating for me, even before we take this on very further with Emmanuel Alex Wasswa? He says he already admits that he has not done enough for KCCFC. We'll be able to get to know that shortly. But remember, Emmanuel Alex Wasswa joined KCCFC in 2021, signed for the club, that is 3 years, and then later on had an extension of that contract to make it in total 4 years. So his time at the football club will be going up until 2025 at the end of, I think, June.
Yeah.
All right. Now you say you've not done enough for KCCFC. Where do you come from? I mean, making such a statement. Probably, what are some of the goals that you had set to yourself when you joined this football club? What did you want to achieve with KCCFC?
When I joined in 2021, I got injured in my second, I think it was my second training. Okay. We were going for Sekafa. And it was a long-term injury. So I had to go under a surgery. That was at Zambia. I had an ACL, complete tear. Good enough. I came back. I did rehab well at the club. But coming back to play, competition was high. We had so many players so many players and experienced players like Dennis Iguma. So competition was high. So and I was limited to playing time, just because of since the club when I came back, the club was under so much pressure. We needed to win, so I needed more playing time, which I didn't get. Okay. So that's why I can say I didn't work so much for the club in my second year, until when I was pushed out for a loan. Okay. On a good basis, because we sat with my agent and club officials. It was good for both sides, me and the club.
Maybe take us through that moment, because you say you came in at the football club, you had goals. What are some of those goals that you set yourself? Did you want maybe to play regularly? Did you want to make it to the national team? Did you want to maybe score a certain number of goals as a midfielder? What are some of those goals? How many titles did you want to achieve with the football club when you came in?
When I came in, I remember from my previous club, that was SC Vida, I had scored 6 goals that season, 4 in the league and 2 in Uganda Cup. So when I came in at KCCFC, I wanted to score more goals. I wanted to push more hard to go for a national team call. I wanted to push more hard for a professional stint, at least outside Uganda. But all this did come out in the first season and the second season. So that's why I can say I didn't perform well for the club. But I'm back to work for the club.
All right, fast forward 2023, that is about August, September, around there, and then KCCFC, you said you sit with your management or your representatives, yourself and the club officials, and agree on a loan stint, and you chose Express Football Club at least to go there for 1 year, but with an option or with a clause in that contract saying that at half season, if you've impressed, you can be able to return to the football club. You're able to tick those boxes, and half season you are back. First of all, the loan period, why? For you to, I mean, I've seen it in this league, not only in this league, world over.
Yeah.
Players sometimes feel that if they are sent out on loan, either they are not liked by the football club. Very few players have the kind of mentality that you showed, that you actually wanted that loan period, go out there, get more playing time, and prove that you can actually get back to the club and play. Just find a way of explaining it to us, how you were able to sit with your representative, the club, and also for yourself to believe that I need more playing time if I'm going to maybe push this career further, and which you were not getting at KCFC at that time.
What I needed by that time, I needed playing time. I needed 5 matches in a row, at least.
Okay.
And when I remember when I talked to my agent, I told him I just need 5 games in a row. And on my playing the fifth game, I already had a goal and an assist.
Which was a positive for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a positive for me, and I knew if I would be on that green grass each and every time, I could improve, because I knew I'd spend the whole year without playing. Okay. So I needed time to improve, and I know I'm a better player. So I just needed time. I went to Express FC on a good note, not on a bad note. I knew what I wanted, and truly, God gave me what I wanted.
Not very easy recovering from an ACL or an anterior cruciate ligament tear, full tear, I should say, and then recovering for a year, coming back to play for another season, not able to impress, sent out on loan. How was the time at Express Football Club? What are some of the things that probably you learned as a footballer? What are some of the things that you were able to develop and grow better while at Express Football Club?
It was my first time to go out for a loan, and it was difficult for me at first, because playing for a club, and in your mind you know that you have another club. Yes. It is not something easy. And playing for a club, knowing that your mother club is watching you. Okay. They expect you to perform, yet the club you're also playing for expects you to perform. Because KCCFC sent me on loan, not thinking that I'm a bad player. No. They thought I needed that time somewhere else so that I can improve on where I couldn't improve at KCC by that time. So now it was not easy at first, but in the first place, KCC is an artificial turf. I was used to that. Now going to green grass, I first experienced some difficulties, but finally I got to go, and God is good.
That you're able to play and impress. What are some of the statistics you have? How many goals, how many games, and how many assists in your 15 games at Express?
No, I played 14 games.
14?
Because I couldn't play against KCCFC.
Okay. I'll ask you another question about that game later on in the show.
Then I was on the bench. I came in the 70th minute against Bright Star. So I think I played all the 14 games.
Okay.
13 games.
And one coming up from the bench.
14. And scoring 4 goals. A brace against Neck. Okay. And a goal against Arua Hill. And a goal against UPDF.
How many assists?
2 assists.
4 goals, 2 assists, 13 games. Not a very bad return. I should say fair enough. And that is for a midfielder that has been used to playing as a defensive midfielder, and went on to accept a new role at his club where he was on a loan stint. I'll talk about your new role. That is, we was used to seeing you more as a defensive midfielder, at least at KCCFC. Yeah. I've seen you play in that role before, where you have been playing at Ndeje, at SC Villa, and then at Express. What is your best role as a player? And also, what is the role you were given at Express Football Club?
At Express FC, we sat with their coach, and he told me, because of my abilities, because I'm a hard worker at first, and I enjoy running all the pitch. So he was like, you can give us that punch in front and back. So it was like, I want you to play as a number 8. You play a box to box. So I think I enjoyed that at Express, as I used to enjoy it at Ndeje and Sevilla. So I think if I'm employed like that at KCFC, I think I'll work for the team.
Well, that is Emmanuel Alex Wasswa. We are still having this gentleman on the show, and I'll ask you your personal ambitions. Now that you're back at KCCFC, now you have 1.5 years remaining on your contract, right? That means your contract runs down at the end of 2025, that next season. What are some of your ambitions? What do you want to achieve now that you're back? What have you learned at Express during this short stay at Express that you want to rub onto the current players that you find at KCCFC?
First, my goals or my ambitions this season, I wanted to score 5 goals. 5 goals and 2 assists. Seriously.
Now you already
have 4. Now I have 4 goals.
Okay.
Now I pushed. I want 8 goals and 8 assists.
Okay. Which should be able to.
And I think I will work upon that, and I think I will achieve.
Okay.
At Express, the experience I got there, I understood how to play under harsh conditions. Okay. Because not all clubs are the same. Express has its own problems and KCCA has its own problems. So at Express FC, things weren't going on well at first, but I knew what I wanted because I just wanted to be on pitch. So I put out all excuses that the pitch is dirty. Where we train from, there is
salary
water.
Is coming late.
Yes. So I was like, let me put all this out and I focus on football because I know where I want to go. So, and I think I changed my attitude.
Yeah, as a player.
Yeah, as a player. I changed my character as a player. And I think this has helped me and Express FC in the first round. So I think if I can drive that from Express FC to KCCFC, I think it will help us more and achieve what KCCFC has to achieve.
Character development is what we are talking about, and Emmanuel Alex Wasswa says that he was able to grow better as a player with the right attitude and with the right character, play under all conditions, but make sure that he's on the pitch because he had the goal to make sure that he gets back to his parent club. Now we'll talk about education and also how sport and education can be attained both together and also thrive at both. I'm aware that you are a holder of a master's degree in procurement, something very usual to even find, especially in Ugandan football.
Yes.
Not only in Ugandan football, football world over, not very many players have a master's degree, and now yours is in procurement.
Yeah.
How did you make that personal decision to say that even when I'm a very fantastic footballer, I will need education as a backup, because we know that this profession goes for about 15, 16 years and then you retire?
When I got injured, I knew I was going to sit out for a whole year. So I already had my degree in procurement and logistics management from Kampala University. So I have my mentor. He's called Dr. Bossa. He graduated also with a doctorate. So he told me, you can use this period of time and you acquire your master's. So they helped me out on sponsorship. I was paying half since I played for Nkumba in the University Football League. So I was like, yes, I want books and I really like reading. So I was like, well, it's okay. I can go out for a master's. I didn't graduate because at first I was supposed to graduate, but because of COVID, we didn't get time to meet and discuss our viva. So I had to graduate last year. Yeah.
That was 2023.
2023 was a great year for me.
Okay. And
at least I achieved so much in football and in books.
What are some of the things you achieved in football and books in 2023? The people out there want to know.
First, I won a Bikaya Baganda with the Ngonge club. Sorry, Ngonge clan.
Yes.
And I was the captain for Ngonge. I achieved my masters, and I think I came back on the eyes of people of football in Uganda.
Yes.
So many people had forgotten me.
Who Emmanuel Wasswa is.
Who Emmanuel Wasswa is, the teacher.
Now they know.
Yeah. Now they know the teacher who is the teacher in the club, and I think I'll teach more.
What's with the nickname? I'm being told. Yes, you've talked about it. Emmanuel Wasswa, the teacher. What is with the?
You know, at Express.
With the nickname.
At Express, the CEO. He's my good friend.
Okay.
So he was like, Emma, try to help these young kids, teach them what to do, because I know you were graduate somewhere, because he was once a referee. He used to referee our games in University Football League. So he was like, you're the teacher here. So I was so happy. So when I scored that goal, I remembered that I was the teacher.
Oh, the teacher.
So I was like, I was supposed to teach even here.
I hope my producer is able to bring that celebration. That should have been against Nick, one of those goals that he scored on the day. And he was able to, a very famous celebration, I should say. The producer will be able to look for that. But ladies and gentlemen, also the players out there that are watching this show, I hope you're learning something. That when you get that long injury, yes, that should be the goal, and we shall be able to see that celebration. Very fantastic goal, tight angle. That was against NEC FC at the MTN Omondi Stadium. And look at that celebration. Look, and that is Emmanuel Alex Wasswa, the teacher. So the students get to sit, and then the teacher is standing, and then he's teaching.
And they all passed.
Wow. And they passed. He says, very famous celebration. Thank you very much, my producer. And like I told you, so for the athlete out there, not only the footballer, if you're watching this show, I hope you're learning something, that when you have a long-term injury, he was out for a year, but he was able to take on school, and he was able to, finish his master's, his master's degree in procurement, and now he's a holder of a master's degree. So I hope you're able to learn something or two from Emma. Emma, as we wind this up, please, I want you to speak directly to the athlete out there. We know it's hard to balance school and education. It's quite very hard. But how resilient must one be, and what are some of the things that, because we know how short this career is, must one be to be able to achieve both, that is school and education, as we wind this up?
I remember on my graduation, the speech I made, I said, it is a lie that you cannot balance books and sports. It is a lie, because everything has its own time. If you are training in the morning, you can go to class in the evening. Good enough at universities, you can go to class in the morning, then you train in the evening. So there's no reason why you tell me that you cannot balance sports and books.
Okay.
So I urge all young players, especially young players in secondary schools, primary schools, please, if you have that chance, please go and study, because I know football or sports, at any time you can go to an end. But books, you cannot go to an end. Okay. Because you find a person aged 80 years, but still putting on a tie and going to an office. Yeah. But you cannot be 80 years and you play football. Okay. Or you play basketball or you play volleyball. So I was like, please, if you have that chance, go to class and read.
For the young athlete watching out there, I hope you've picked one or two things from Emmanuel Alex Wasswa. He joined KCCAFC in 2021, had the entire year out because he picked up that anterior cruciate ligament injury, and he was able to sit out that entire year. Returned in 2022-2023, did not get very much playing time. Sent out on loan at the beginning of the 2023-2024 season, and now he's back at the football club with 4 goals and 2 assists. And he says that his goal for the next part of the season, that is the second round, is to add on those 4 goals, achieve more 4, that is 8, and also get more 6 assists and to make it 6.
I think I need to win a trophy with KCCAFC.
Okay, there you have it. He feels he needs to win a trophy with KCCAFC. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Emmanuel Alex Wasswa, and like I told you, he had a fantastic 2023 because he was able to achieve with Ngonge Clan, where he was the captain of that team that won 2-0 against Mbogo. Yeah. That is the Evika Byabaganda final. And he was also able to, he says, you were able to get back to the scene for people to know who Emmanuel Alex Wasswa is.
People had forgotten me.
People had forgotten
now
you.
They know me.
Now they know. Well, producer, please, let me have that question on the screen, and we read those social media questions, responses, the rewind, that picture on the screen that is from the 1980s, because we're in the final moments of this show. So that is the picture. Someone says Mark Kendrick Roberts on Facebook says Jackson Mayanja the Great. Yes, he's in that picture. And then we have Walter Onyuke says Jackson Mayanja. And then Mahad MK says Jackson Mayanja Mia Mia. Well, let's have the picture once again, and then we'll be able to look at some of those legends. We can see in there we have Tom Luanga should be on the far left standing. Then just below him is Philip Omondi. That is the gentleman that is squatting below Tom Luanga. On his immediate right, should say immediate left, yes, there. If we can have that picture once again. We had Sam Mugambe in there. We had Paul Sally in that picture. Very many legends. We had Jackson Mayanja. He was able to play with players like Philip Omondi and very many others. Well, thank you very much for participating in all our social media polls that we try to put up. And also kudos to our two guests that were able to come today to the studios. That is Lillian Namaganda, an ex-student representative on the KCCFC Funds Executive, and also a KCCFC player. We have had him out this late. I hope the coach is able to understand tomorrow when the player just walks in a minute late. And that is Emmanuel Alex Wasswa, a holder of a master's degree in procurement. He has been able to balance school and education. It's a wrap for Season 5, Episode 15. We'll be back next week on Sunday, that is at 8 p.m. Stay blessed and have a very fantastic week. Have a good night.